Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back, of course, to the Time Bomb channel. Hope all is well in your part of the world, and it seems like ages since we've had a SEIKO diver on the channel. When I had the chance to pick this one up third hand, well, it kind of gave me a little bit of a warm feeling inside when I opened up that box and checked it out. I confess it's not quite the man-sized puddle that I would leave if it were a Cell Instruments watch. Yes, indeed, my Grail watch, maybe one day. But looking at this watch straight out of the box kind of reminded me why SEIKO have won themselves so many fans over the years. Yes, indeed, just lovely warmness. Anyway, just going to pause there, readjust the camera so we can zoom in a little more. Okay, so obviously then what we're looking at is the SRPH11K1. And if I'm not mistaken, these versions of the Samurai hail back to the 2021 releases. However, they are continually adding to the range of the Black Series as they have done previously. And my thinking is this is the third year of the Blackout series, but please do correct me if I'm wrong down below. The design brief then behind the series is, as they've suggested, is a blacked out watch inspired by the world of night diving. Splish splash. Some of the different options from the current series out there, including those on pre-order, with a whole range of price tags. And these ones, more or less holding their value on the second-hand market. But I do confess that one of the reasons why we've not had any SEIKO divers on recently is that I kind of got a little bit tired of all the recreations of the limited editions costing $1,000 a pop. Kind of strategy that SEIKO were kind of like taking the mic a little bit. I was kind of hoping they could give us something avant-garde and future-defining, a little bit perhaps like Casio and Citizen have been able to do. So why can't SEIKO? Maybe they're just positioning themselves as the recreation brand. Anyway, answers on a postcard, please. Kicking off with some key specs of these things, which do not differ greatly from, or don't differ at all from the other Samurais. It's 43.8 mils across, a quite manageable 13.4 mils deep, and then 48 mils north to south. The lugs then, of course, come in at 22 mils, and all of that feels very, very manageable indeed on wrist. Hardlex up on top, which many of you may dislike. Personally, I'm okay with that. I don't think it's a cheap opt out. Most of my G-Shocks are not sapphire, and they work just fine. But of course, do look to the King Samurai if that is going to be a deal breaker for you. Another note, and just see if we can pick that up here on camera, is that the Hardlex is set a little bit lower than the bezel, which adds a little bit of additional protection. But it does then leave just around the edge here like a little dust groove that you're probably going to find yourself cleaning out from time to time. Personally, the more important than the crystal or the deal breaker for me on SEIKOs is more about the alignment, and I think this one does that pretty well indeed. Maybe that marker there just sitting a little lower, but the crown as well seems to be fairly well positioned between those crown guards. So yeah, overall not too bad. As mentioning that crown then obviously is a solid screw down crown. It's not signed, so just a shiny edge to that, but the grip and knurling on that action, to me, very smooth and very twiddly. Happy with that. Buzzing away inside then, we've got the 4R35 movement, going to be giving you around 41 hours of power reserve. It is indeed a tried and tested shock resistant movement, but I'm reckoning some punters may have wanted perhaps a higher grade movement in what is a limited edition watch. And of course, these things then coming with your standard dive 200 meters worth of watery goodness. The Lumibright goodness on here is going to impress equally in Ibiza or in the field or on a night dive. And that Lume, yeah, just another reason why these watches are favoured by so many of us. Other key details on this as well, which I really like, is that bezel then is kind of a grey and black, which I think complements the whole design of the watch very well. And yep, spot on. We've got an inset nipple pip at the top there, so yeah, no chance that one's going to be knocked off in the cold. The bezel itself then featuring this, well, what should we call it? Kind of a grainy knurling rather than castellations or coin edges here. And of course then that bezel action sounds like this. So yeah, very springy sound to it, but yeah, smooth, clean. Yeah, SEIKO doing well in that sense. No issues there with that. Let's just pop it back around to the top for the OCDs among us. Oops, gone past it there, beg your pardon. Let's just try that one again. I just want to show again that it lines up. There's just a fraction of backplay, but I think that was just literally where it was sat between the grooves. Up close and personal then, we can see the dial is a very, very matte black. The seconds hand, of course, featuring that sort of mid-placed arrow with the loom sliver towards the end. But personally, to me, that seconds hand is too short. I prefer my seconds hands either grazing those markers or alternatively reaching right out into the markers. In keeping, of course, with the retro vintage theme, the markers are this sort of faux salmon beige. I'm not 100% convinced, but it does the job. And then, of course, you've got that very positive splash of OJ over the minute hand, which to me combines to make this super legible, even as you can see here in red light. Moving on, we've got the OEM SEIKO silicon flat strap here, comfortable and light. And then just on the inside, you can see we've got this sort of rippling, which would help then with venting. You've then got a signed keeper and quite a largish sort of flared buckle, which to me kind of doesn't really fit with the very angular samurai case body. I think they could have just put something with a little sharper edges on there for me, because it is quite big. Let me throw it on wrist to show you what I'm talking about. Rocking the wonderful Citizen here. As I say, for me that buckle is quite large around the back, and as I say, I'm wondering, and obviously you don't always look at it in this way, but it could have been angular, just to sort of match with that very, very angular case body. But again, just purely personal preference there. Other aspect, of course, to flag up, you'll be fully aware, it comes with obviously those very helpful drilled lugs. Maybe, you're thinking what kind of strappage might work well with this, as a good alternative. Probably some like sailcloth or aged canvas, I think would also look very, very good indeed. The other aspects then, the tuner version of this comes with the blacked out date wheel. So I'm not really quite sure why they plumped for white on this one and on the Monster. It doesn't look bad being in white. It's as clear to read, but I'm just curious as to why it's not black when they've gone with a very black theme on everything else. For me, obviously, then the case body, then uber recognizable as a samurai, very, very sharp and proud, no nonsense angles to it, which I think help make it sit very, very flush on wrist, with zero top wobble even on this OEM rubber. The case back then here we can see is the clean steel, and then we've got the limited run just at the bottom. So this one's 4768 out of 8,000. Not sure really if I agree that this is with that marketing label. Yes, it's factually correct. It's a limited edition. It's limited to 8,000 pieces, but I think they're kind of stretching the definition just a little bit too far there. And yeah, anyways, kind of just a little redundant. Personally, I don't think they need to do that. But anyway, again, purely personal opinion. In conclusion, I really like the watch. Overall, I think in black it works very, very well indeed. I have to say that I'm so used to seeing these things in the bare steel that I wasn't sure if in black it would actually work. But as a stealthy, dressed down kind of watch, I think it absolutely works. And hats off to them for the keeping this blacked out night dive series going. Chunky, even angular good looks. Again, defining this, I think, as a proper dive tool watch. And if you buy one, I think that PVD coating there is certainly going to take a beating. I think it's going to carry those dings, to kind of make it yours and show those memory scars as either the damn I smashed my watch moments, or just the scratches that add to its rugged good looks. All right, guys, let us know what you think down below, please. As always, very much look forward to hearing your commentary. Thanks as always again for your time and for your view. And of course, until the next vid, this is your host, the Bombardier, signing off. Cheers, guys.